Hey, Coach Colin Castello here with ShopMechanics.com, and welcome to another episode of the Ask Coach C series. This week, we're going to talk about a few crucial subjects like what do you do if your lower body's turning on your shot, what college coaches are looking for, and if you're shooting from your chest, what you can do about it. All right, so our first question is from Jace Shilcutt, and he says, "Hey, Coach, my question is sometimes when I'm shooting a 3 or a pull-up, sometimes my lower body turns. Any advice? Thanks." All right, so this is a great question. I'm glad you asked it because it's kind of a misconception that a lot of people don't know. So if your body's turning or your lower body's turning on your jump shot, generally what that means is it's trying to alleviate the tension in your shoulders and your neck. Most of the best shooters in the NBA shoot with a foot tilt, so it's not a bad thing. In fact, what I would do is I would go with it. I would let your body do it because it's going to alleviate a lot of shooting or a lot of tension in your shooting shoulder and neck. And so it'll increase your range, it'll increase your shot speed. Overall, it's just going to do a lot of good things for it. So I definitely wouldn't fight it. I would try to keep that tilt going. It's one of the things that pretty much all the best shooters do, especially in the NBA. Pretty much everybody in the NBA shoots with a tilt. So go with it and don't fight your biomechanics. If anything, I'd embrace it. You want to make sure that you're not turning too far. If you're landing completely sideways, that might be a little bit too much. It can kind of start to affect your shot, but a little tilt's never a bad thing. All right, so next question comes from Garrett, number 42. Coach C, I'm a good defender and a decent shooter. I would like to know what colleges are looking for in a player. Hashtag Ask Coach C. College coaches are looking for a lot of different stuff, and it kind of depends on their needs. I know a lot of times college coaches look position specific. They like specific things out of specific positions. Certain coaches like their two guards to do this, this, and that. Some coaches like their point guards to do this, this, and that. So it's really hard to kind of generalize that sort of thing. But there are a few kind of overall arcing things that'll help you kind of get to the college level and things that college coaches love to have. So the first number one thing is grades, right? You gotta have those grades up. And the higher grades you have, the better chance you have of getting to college, just because it opens up more opportunities. Coaches don't want to waste a scholarship spot on somebody who may or may not be eligible. So if you've got a 2.0 or a 1.7 in high school, college is going to be harder academically. And so a coach probably isn't going to take a chance on you unless you're a complete, absolute freak athletically. So number one, grades matter a ton. Number two, athleticism matters. How strong you are, how fast you are, how high you can jump. Are you quick? Because after all, you're going to be playing other people that are doing the same thing. So coaches are always going to want athletes out there on the board. After that, you've got skill, so things like shooting, passing, rebounding, playing defense. Coaches are going to want skilled players. But again, they want specific things. I've seen guys that aren't really all that great basketball players skill-wise, but still had great college careers because they were great screeners, they were great rebounders, they were great communicators. So skill doesn't always just mean kind of the actual basketball skill that we think of. There's other ways you can get there too. I always like to think of the big three: pass, shoot, and defend. And I like to think if you can get 2 out of the 3 of those, you'll be pretty good. So if you can do shooting and passing, you'll be pretty good. If you can do passing and defending, you can do pretty good. If you can do shooting and defending, you can do pretty good. If you can get 2 out of those 3, pass, shoot, and defend, generally you're going to be pretty good, and a college coach is probably going to like you. All right, so the next question comes from Yahya Solomon, and they want to know, "Hey, Coach, I've got a problem with shooting from my chest. How can I fix the problem?" All right, awesome question. This is something that I know a lot of shooters struggle with, especially young shooters. And that's kind of the hardest part of growing up and shooting is you hit that kind of peak where the only way you can get the only possible way you can get the ball to the basket is by shooting from your chest. But then you start to get older and you kind of have to learn how to put the ball to a higher set point. A lot of guys like a set point at their eyebrow or at their forehead, sometimes even at the bridge of the nose. But the whole idea is you want to bring that set point up because it's going to make your shot a lot faster. You're going to be able to get more arc, and you're going to be able to get it off on better defenders. So that's the number one reason why you got to do it, so you can get it off in games. If you're a high school shooter that's used to shooting from your chest, it's going to be really, really, really difficult to be able to get it off in games. You can get away with it at the junior high level, but probably not in high school. And then the further you go up in levels, the harder it's going to be to get it off. So let's look at the NBA. How many guys shoot from their chest? Honestly, I can think of one guy in the last maybe 15 years, and that's Shawn Marion, right? Shawn Marion kind of has that weird snake bite thing, and it's kind of even more from his chin. So basically, to be a shooter, you gotta have a higher set point. If you think you can stick with the chest, it's just not gonna work. Now, there's a few things that you can do to help you. So most of the time, the reason why people shoot from the chest is for power, right? It's to get extra power to the basket. Because if they bring a higher set point, it takes a lot of this momentum out of it. And so they're not able to get the ball to the basket from like the 3-point line or something like that. So the biggest thing you can do, there's two things that I always have my athletes do to extend their range and extend their power. Number one is add a ball dip. And that's the concept of having the ball in your hand on the catch, dipping it down to your belt line just for a second, and then pulling up into your jumper. Adding a ball dip's great because it gets that momentum started coming up into your jump shot, then it can transfer into the ball. A lot of range and power when it comes to shooting is just about transferring your body's momentum and putting it into the basketball as it goes. So a ball dip is a great way to get that momentum. And most of the great shooters in the NBA shoot with a ball dip anyways. So you're going to get a coach out there that's going to say, don't dip the ball, it's really slow. But in all actuality, that's not the case. Guys that shoot with a dip are just as fast as guys that don't. And I would much rather have you shoot 50% with a dip than 20% without a dip. You know what I mean? And get off, or 55% without a dip and get less shots off. So I would definitely institute a ball dip, and that's going to help you get more power so you get that higher set point. The next thing you can do is shoot off of a 2-footed hop, where both your feet are planting in the ground at the exact same time and then springing up into your jump shot. A lot of young players get used to that 1-2 step where they kind of plant that back heel and it sucks all the momentum out of your body. It makes it really slow and you lose a lot of that kinetic energy coming through your body. So if you can shoot off a 2-footed hop where you catch the ball, boom, spring off of your 2-footed hop, that'll also increase your momentum and your power. So if you add a 2-footed hop and you add a ball dip, that might be enough to bring your set point up to your eyebrow because it's all about transferring the momentum of that shot. That's why you see smaller guards that are able to shoot with big range. It's because they transfer that momentum perfectly. So try adding a ball dip and try shooting off at the 2-footed hop and see if it works for you. All right, and don't forget, if you're new to Shot Mechanics, you're going to want to do two things. Number one, hit that subscription button because we're putting out 4 to 5 videos every week, and they're going to get you better, I guarantee it. Number two, you're going to want to hit that annotation above or the link in the description, get a free copy of my top 3 favorite shooting secrets. These are the 3 biggest mechanics that I see people make mistakes all the time, and sometimes by plugging these into your jump shot, you can increase your shooting percentage overnight. Thousands of people have already used it, and thousands of people have already seen success. Again, I'm Coach Colin Castello with Shot Mechanics. Thank you so much for watching and being a part of the Splash Army, and I'll see you tomorrow for our NBA shooting secrets.